Well, last week I did this tailgate, and right ahead of this rear tailgate is an open portion here underneath the bed. Now the bed is going to sit across the top here, but this open area here is actually cut in half, and then the front half is also cut in half again. And we can see some of the remnants of that from the remaining left side panel. We have these slats here that are nailed across the top, and this little space here is where that center dividing would go right in the middle. And to the back of this rear slat there's an upright, what looks like it is just to support the weight here, because the bed will actually sit on this cleat here. And then to the front of this bed support you can see where this was the box iron, and then right here there was a framework, and it looks like it was bolted to this, and this would be accessible from the front side on the inside. And this old panel here was the center divider that went like so, and I'm pretty convinced this is the front side, and these cleats here would be on the back side. So this panel would sit right in the space of those upper cleats, and this would be the dividing wall between the rear compartment, which was probably for feed, and the front compartment, which would have been for the shepherd's use. And as I measure the position of these two cleats here, which I think was the dividing wall for the front, you can see we're not centered. We're 21 inches from one side, and we're 19 inches from the other side. So this is a little bit offset. Well, in this pile of rubble, I found two doors that I think are the front doors to access the inside compartment for the shepherd. So we have a left door, right door, or if you're in the wagon, typically this would be the right side, this would be the left side. Both on hinges, both with a heavy frame. Well, these doors seem to be equal, 17 1/4 and 17 1/4, maybe just a fudge shy. But these door panels are equal, so why are these cleats in the back offset? Well, this is the dividing post that actually provides the stop for each door. It would be like so, and it has a little turn hasp here. Pretty simple, but that would keep the doors shut. Well, if we look at the position of the center frame, you can see that it lines up with the cleat on one side on the back, so that dividing panel is going to come from this section and actually was nailed into this portion of the frame. So that's why this rear cleat is offset, but yet the doors are equal. In the outside frame of these doors, which actually bolt to the side panel, you can see they are notched out, jointed for that top frame that holds the bed. So the panels on these doors, the bottoms are really rotted out, as well as this framework also. The center frame is rotted as well, and this lower panel, and also the bottom of this frame, I think from so many years with debris having blown in and set and just rotted this out. And this would be the left side. It's also, this corner is missing. The back side of these doors also have cleats that have been nailed on. You can see all the clinching. And this rod is even more evident on this other side. Again, all the clinch nails. So I'll start out first doing the framework and the top cleats that support the bed. Now on each side of this sheep wagon, there's a box on both the right and the left side. One sets right about here, and it sets on this board that's going to go here. It's usually a step. And then there's one on the other side that'll actually hang from the bench, so it'll be suspended about this tall. This one on this side will be suspended kind of down in this area. So my goal has been to use the old bench that was on this left side and the sideboard for these boxes because they still are pretty fair shape and they have some of that old original red color to them. So before I start to build this double door that's ahead of the bed inside, I want to make sure that I have enough of these old boards that will accommodate the side boxes. So I've done some calculations here on what I need, and I can fit almost all of them out of this side, some for the right, some for the left. I may not have enough for those double doors underneath the bed inside. So I'm kind of thinking I'm probably going to have to take new material and antique it, kind of like I did on the tailgate, probably. This was the bench, and this was the underneath side, so it's actually retained its color the best, but I need one section here, and it looks like I can get one panel here, and then one panel here. Then we go into narrower panels where the breakage actually sets in pretty bad. And this is the front of the side panel. It's got a split through it, but I think when we cleat that inside, it might stabilize that. So I've got possibility of some use out of this area here. From here back, it's pretty bad. So I'm not going to get everything I need, but I can get the outside faces of both boxes. And it looks like I can get one side of either one side or the other. I may not get it on both. But the whole goal is to preserve as much of this good old wood as we can, and it will be most visible on the outside boxes more so than it is on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my good pieces, set them aside for the boxes, and I'll work with what I have left for those inside doors. So I think we're all beginning to see that this is where the shepherd will sleep. When we have our two side benches on it, he actually will sleep crossways on this bed. And underneath will be the cubby holes for the shepherd and the back for the grain for the horse or whoever in the back end. So still trying to use as much of this old wood as we can. And I think we have most of that cut out for these doors. I'm going to go ahead and put the vinegar solution on them and put this gray transparent stain on top of it. Kind of match the rest of this old looking wood. And we'll begin to assemble that next week. I do appreciate you following along. Thanks for watching.